Hi there viewers, welcome to our second episode of Let's Talk, brought to you by R77, one and only. You're here with me, Coach Mo, alongside me I've got Coach Rudy.
What's going on, guys?
And we're here to talk about well, something posed by our parents and our coaches. So we're doing a little Q&A today. As you all know, there were no games on Sunday because of the weather. Probably doesn't look like it. If you look outside today, it's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, brilliant
Buzzing
weather.
outside.
Mad weather.
Unfortunately, we'll have to wait to see what it looks like on Sunday. But you know, we go again every single week.
Indeed.
Let's just get set. Right, so we're gonna do a little Q&A session to make up for not being there on Sunday. So we got questions brought to us as I said by our parents and coaches, and we first of all we'd like to thank them. There were ample of questions, weren't there? There were loads. We were absolutely bombarded. I don't think parents wasted any time, and there's some really tough ones in there.
Yeah, thanks for that. Thank you very much.
But yeah, we'll take on it today. Let's get started. Yeah, Rudy, I'll pose the first question, or do you want to take the first one?
Well, let me just start by saying thanks, Mo, for getting off my bonnet and driving. People saw it was on my bonnet the last episode, but yeah, he's here now.
More comfortable yet.
Like he said, we have got loads and loads of questions. At one point we had 0. To be fair, we did only put it out this morning because we decided we should put something out there for the viewers. And in the space of 10-15 minutes, we've just been bombarded with silly questions. And we'll start with the serious question first, really, for Mo. And this question is from one of our young coaches. Great coach, doing very good things with the under-8s, but clearly lacks in English a little bit. His first question is, why did you found R77? Found, F-O-U-N-D, found R77. And we won't tell you who it is. We'll just show you. So.
Oh no, I think it's a fair question. We understand what he's saying. I think it all started. I think Ren was actually involved, wasn't he? Because it all started for us together at Redbridge Football Club. So we were coaching at semi-pro level. We were
coaching him.
Yeah, exactly. He's one of our players. So under 14s, and then we took them up to under 16s. And then I think
let's just put it out there that we won the league.
Yeah, we won. I think that's an important point. Yeah, we did win the league with them. And then I think things changed. And then you went off you had a great opportunity at Newham, wasn't it? I think.
We nearly died there,
yeah,
but yeah.
I think you had the opportunity at Newham, and you were first team coach.
Yeah, semi-professional club.
Yeah, so that was it. So then we'd always had in mind to start a soccer school for young age kids. We always said 3 years old. I think we had a small stint where we started for about 4 weeks with Coach Musa.
Yeah.
And we enjoyed it, went well. But I think trying to balance it with what you were doing at Newham, I know you were travelling far. It was difficult. So I think that was the time where we started to work on our PR. We started to bring in coaches, and then we eventually started getting contact with parents and bringing kids in. And from there, I think that's how it pretty much started, wasn't it?
Yeah, really. It was just for the it was for the community.
Yeah, exactly.
And we know there's talented players out there, so we just wanted to bring them all together, kind of thing. And
we had coaches ready to go at that time.
Yeah.
So
and still, 2 years, nearly 2 years later, and we're still doing pretty well for ourselves. So long may it continue.
Yeah.
Move on to the second question.
Yeah, question 2. Let's see. I think this one was from one of our parents, one of our favourite parents.
Ali. Shout out Ali.
She asked, what is your football philosophy? So I'll let you have that, Rudy. What is your football philosophy?
I think when we started, I think we mentioned it a little bit vaguely in the last video. When we started, we didn't really have a philosophy, did we? We just kind of just went with it. We've seen all these teams. When we were at Catalans, we tried tiki-taka. When we were at Redbridge, we tried tiki-taka. When I went to Newham, I tried tiki-taka. But yeah, I think when we first started, I don't think there was really a philosophy. That's the honest truth. I think it was more so when I took over the under-8s, and I realised that, you know what, these boys have got the most potential of all the age groups to go far in the game. So I think we should address the philosophy, and we did. We call it the triple P: position, possession, and pressure. The reason why we emphasise on those 3 points is quite simple. If you break down a whole game of football, the core fundamentals of football are those 3. So if you've got good positioning, you can keep the ball, so you can keep possession, and you can win the ball back because there's only one ball at the end of the day on a football pitch. You know, you're doing the right thing. So we say those 3 points, but we don't only just focus on just them 3. They're just the headers, and then we have all the sub headers underneath it. So it's simple. It's a simple way for all the coaches across the age groups to get together weekly, discuss what we're focusing on for that week, and kind of just move on from there. So yeah, our philosophy really as a unit is the triple P, more so to develop the football players, to turn them into winning sides, and you know, to make professional footballers at the end of the day. So yeah, and to make professional coaches as well. And a lot of people forget that we are in the game of coaches, and you know, if the opportunity came, I'd be gone. See ya. But yeah, that's the philosophy. So I move on to question 3, which was from Hali Ali's other half. Yeah, and the question is very, very simple: is what makes your school better than all the other soccer schools out there? So Mo, I'm going to let you handle that one.
Right. I think you touched on it a little bit where you mentioned about coaches. I think first and foremost, when making our soccer school, when starting it, the first thing we went out to do was, instead of looking for players, we went out looking for coaches.
Yeah.
I think that's where it all started for us, wasn't it? I mean, we've got, at the moment, thankfully, we've got 15 coaches currently on our books, and Rudy can say all of them have they've all played for you, haven't they?
Yeah.
They've all played for Rudy.
I think bar one. I think bar Ali.
Yeah, besides Ali, yeah, he's one of our youngsters.
Yeah.
And again, so we've got coaches aged from 29.
You made me feel old, but
all the way up to 16 years old. So I think that's what makes us different. I think we're not just about the kids. Obviously we're about the kids, but something different is we're about our coaches as well. We're trying to progress these coaches. We're trying to progress them alongside the kids. It's important to remember that we're not just here for the kids and parents. Coaches need to progress. Unless we give them the opportunity, they ain't gonna get a chance.
Yeah, I think we're the only soccer school that has the amount of young coaches that we've got. Just taking them literally out of school. Yeah. Ethan Ray, they've just literally left school. Idris Ali, the first year college, second year college boys, and the rest. I don't think there's a coach older than the age of 23. So that goes to show everything. Apart myself, obviously, and I'm not old, by the way. Yeah, I'm only 27. I know that comes as a shock to most people, but I am only 27 years old.
Quite old.
Oh wow. But yeah, you know, so the whole point, the whole ethos is to bring in these young coaches and to keep them coming. So the way we recruit our players is the same way we recruit our coaches, and it helps when everyone's played alongside one another, and also played under my tutelage, to be fair, because it helps me because they've seen me work, so it's easier to just show them how it's done. Sometimes there's some bad influences as well. I mean, I'm a great influence, but you know, obviously yourself, the way you behave with these coaches, you're savage, you know how they call you? Yeah, so you agreed, yeah? For those people you just agreed.
I'm not sad, but you know, sometimes you got to take things as they come.
Yeah, so and that's what makes us.
Another thing was Rudy was the age group that we aim to do. I mean, a lot of people did raise their eyebrows when we said we want to start at 3 years old, and now obviously
I think the only other soccer school that does kids that young is what's it called, the West Ham one. I can't remember what it's called. Kicks, that's it. Little kickers. I think they're the only one that does it, and I went down there a few times to assess them, to see how they work with the kids that young. So they start, I think, 2.5, 3 years old as well. And really, they just let the kids run around a little bit. At least we've got a little bit more organised in some sense for those youngsters. And I know my little boy comes there, he enjoys it. And he's turning into, it's too early to say, but he's got the fundamentals there. So, you know, and you see that in a lot of the 2-year-olds. And they're only 2 at the end of the day, but we're talking about them like, you know, they're developing very, very well and very, very quick. So, you know, long may it continue, long may they grow, and they're the future at the end of the day. So yeah, that's what makes us different.
Yeah, hope that answered your question, Minaj. Rudy, I'll pose the next one. Question 4 is?
Yeah.
4, I'd like to ask you, what's the most effective way of organising a session? I think one of the coaches did ask it. So do you plan a new session every week, or do you make like a session plan for 4 weeks and then stick to it for those 4 weeks?
It's quite simple really. When you're planning a session, when you love what you do, it just kind of comes to you at the end of the day. And we're lucky in that sense where our Saturday coach, we have 2 sets of coaches, so the Friday coaches, Saturday coaches. I think the Friday coaches, we let them get on with it because they're young and stuff, so they do present us with their session plans and whatnot, but we kind of let them go on with Saturday guys, because obviously they're coaching for the teams on Sunday. We take that a little bit more seriously. Not that the Friday sessions are not important, but the Saturday session we take it a bit more seriously because obviously they're going out and playing other opposition. So I think the simple way of doing it is all 3 age groups work on the same thing kind of thing. So like I said, we've got the 3 Ps, so we may be doing possession. So if we're doing possession and the set thing for that week was short passing, then what we'll do is each coach will work on a different training session, but all will have to be including short passing. And we don't move on from something unless we think we have perfected it. And it's hard to perfect everything. Nothing's gonna be 10 out of 10. But I say if it's 8 out of 10 perfected, then we'll incorporate another thing. But we'll still stick by the first principle. So if we're doing short passing, we may move on to receiving after that, just to make life a little bit easier for the kids. So we can still implement the short passing and then move on to the next step, which may be receiving and then finding space and then going on to shooting. And I'm just breaking that. So if they're not happy, if they've not learned anything, that's down to us. So it's always good to ask them, and also it's always good to recall that information at the start of the session again, because like I said, 1 week is a long time and we only get 2 hours with them. So just to recall that information and start a new session maybe. I'll move on to question 5, and that is for you, Mo. Is what's the procedure for getting players moved up to the next age groups? Obviously we've got 3 age groups. How would we know when to move them up?
I think first of all, the most important. Oh, I think that's Mubarak on the phone. Mind if I quickly answer this one? Hello.
Yo, Mo,
Is that Mubs?
Mubs, you're live on camera. Please do not swear.
Please keep that language under wraps.
what's going on?
You're about. You want us to quickly pick you up?
Where are you?
Around the corner from you.
Around the corner.
From me?
Yeah.
I'm just going to get my parts from the in-laws.
You're going to get your car from the in-laws?
Yeah.
So who are you going with? We'll pick you up in it.
No, I'm on the train, innit?
Oh, okay, cool. We'll see you there.
Yeah, where you going?
I don't know yet.
Alright,
Alright, cool.
I'll phone you when I get my car.
Yeah, cool. Get off that phone.
Okay. Thank you. Bye. Bye. See ya. Bye. Bye. That's quite sad, really. That's quite sad.
Yeah, no, I'm not sad. I just want to carry on with this question. Go on. So yeah, we were talking about procedure for moving players up.
Right, it's a very good question. I think where it starts, as with every football club, is on the training field. So we have set coaches for different age groups, and on Friday we have set coaches, but it's coaches that appear from every age group. So the first things first is obviously they discuss it with me and you. So coaches will see if there's a player that they feel is doing really well and wants and deserves the opportunity to progress, they'll first come speak to me and you. So then we'll have a look at them, and then from there we slowly bring them up into the older age groups. So what we do, we try to pick a fixture, because we don't want to put a lot of pressure on these kids. When they just say, for example, they're progressing from say under 8s to under 10s or under 10s to under 12s, you don't want to put them in a low pressure or low profile game where they can have the opportunity to express themselves. It's not so much pressure. It's not a tight game. It's not neck and neck where one team's leading by 1 goal or we're behind by 1 goal. So I think that's where it starts. So first it's staffing training, and then we look at them, we'll try to progress them into older age groups. So if they're training with under 8s and the coach feels they're ready to move up, we'll take them to the under 10s, give them a few weeks of training with the new teammates, and at the same time we'll keep them with them under 8s as well. So we keep taking them up and down, and then we'll progress them into, like I said, progressing them into the low profile games.
I think it's more of a case of if they do well in their training. So, for example, we could take 2, 3, 4 examples from moving up and down.
Yeah.
We've had Benny from day one who plays in the under 12s, but he's actually 9 years old. We knew from day one he was better than that age group, he could do better. He could play for the under 12, so we didn't hesitate with him. So he go up and down between the 10s and 12s. Obviously, we've got Hamza Kara, who trains with the under 12s, or had been training with the under 12s for the last 5, 6, 7 odd weeks. And he done well, and he's very close to getting an opportunity to move up and play with the 12s, but he's still playing with the 10s, and he's developing that way as well. So he's going up and down, just training with the older boys, and then taking that information into the 10s. And the same with Omid and Adam, both 8 years old, played under 10s, played two games or so with the 10s, but I've kept them in the 8s because I feel like they've learned quite a bit from the 10s, and they've come down, or they've stayed at their age group, and they're doing pretty well, you know. And you can see by what they do on the football pitch that it helps them as well. Like that bit of encouragement is always helpful for them.
And it's good for each other. If they see one of under 8 sees one of their teammates progressing to under 10s, and they know that okay, I've got to increase my level.
It's a boost, isn't it? It's a boost at the end of the day. Look, football's competition. Where in whichever way you look at it, it doesn't matter if it's competitive, non-competitive. You're playing on the streets, you're playing wherever you're playing. It's when we go 5, 7 aside, we've seen people lose their minds, you know, playing football. And at the end of the day, no one's getting anything for it. So that is just the nature of the game, and competition is healthy. And any bit of competition is healthy, I think, whatever age group it is. So yeah, we're going to continue to do so. And if we feel like a player is ready to move upwards, then you know, why not?
Like you said at the beginning, where it's not just about those 3 P's, and if there were more P's, another one's progression.
Well, progression, perfection, how, you know, there's loads of P's you can throw out there. P's, yeah, you know, they keep that coming, by the way, Terry. Yeah, we need it.
I think that leads nicely on to our next question. I think it'll probably be our last question as well.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's, how does an under 10 player feel being dropped for an under 8 player?
Well, that's hard to tell. I mean, look, all of us coaches have played. It's not like we've never played. We played at 10 years old and we dropped at 10 years old and been on the bench at 10 years old. And it happens. This is the nature of the game. It's up to us coaches to make the child first and foremost understand why it is he may or may not have been dropped for that game, for that particular game. I think we're lucky in a sense where 99% of our kids are pretty understanding, and I don't know if that's because they're scared of us. I doubt it. I'm going to give us the benefit of the doubt here, and I'm going to say they're actually just good kids. No, not me. They're just decent kids at the end of the day. You know, they understand that it's hard. You cannot put 15 into 7, or you cannot put 20 into 9. It's impossible. And these are the kind of numbers we're dealing with. The 8s play 5 aside, the 10s play 7 aside, and the 12s play 9 aside. And each age group, we've got about 20 players. You know, hence why we put another 8 side out at the start of this year. They still haven't got onto the football pitch, but I promise you that's not our fault. You know, we've tried everything to get them out onto that pitch, but it seems like every time we get close,
they've been jinxed.
Yeah, the league seems to not want to make them play. But you know, that's not the point. The point is, okay, the question was how would the under 10 feel, or how would the under 12 feel being dropped for an under 10 player? In fact, how would the under 12 feel being dropped for an under 8 player? Because I'm never saying no to that. That option isn't a no for me. So, you know, at the end of the day, they're not going to be happy. But how does the under 8 feel being dropped for another under 8? It's the exact same situation at the end of the day. And in fact, if you drop an under 10 player, under 12 player for a younger player, number one, it boosts your younger squad. So there's that side of things to look at. The other side to look at is, does it encourage the 10? And you find personalities out from this, you know. And I know they're young, but they all have personalities. And, you know, like I said earlier, my boy's 2, but he's got a personality. So at 8, 9, 10 years old, they should have personality. So if they get dropped, do they come back onto the training pitch 10 times hard, working 10 times harder, trying to get back into that team, and showing the 8-year-old that, listen, you may be good, but you're still in my age group, you're still in my territory, and you kind of need to move down for a couple of years because this spot is mine. And that's the kind of fight we're looking for in the kids at the end of the day. It's not a case of stropping and sitting on the side and throwing tantrums and your parents throwing tantrums. That's not what we're about. Yeah, it's going to happen. It's football at the end of the day. And we'll deal with that if it happens. But so far so good. No one's ever done that. And I don't think no one ever will do that. I mean, the situation where we did have a strop being thrown, it turned out the kid didn't really want to fight for his place. That's what I learned from it. The kid didn't want to fight for his place and moved on. And fair play to him.
That's the only player we've lost.
Yeah, and I hope good luck to him, and hope he plays games at the end of the day. And I'll never ever say to someone, you know, I hope you suffer or something. No chance in hell. Go on play football. At the end of the day, we want all kids to play football. If that means somewhere else, then that means somewhere else. If that means with us, then we're gonna do our best by the kid. And if that means at that particular moment in time, dropping a under 10 or an under 12 for an under 8, you know, at the end of the day, the under 8s have that competition within themselves. We can drop an under 8 red for an under 8 blue, you know, and vice versa. So it's hard as coaches to do that, because obviously, like I said, we've got the pressures of the kids and we've got the pressures of the parents as well. But at the end of the day, whatever our decision is our decision, and we'll stand by it. Yeah, and I think that
covers that one.
Yeah, I think that covers all the questions for now. I mean, that was only 6 questions.
I think we've got another 12 to go, but unfortunately we can't do them all today.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, we will probably try and get through as many of these questions as we can throughout the weeks when we do our results revision. And who knows, we may even pop down and have a few more question and answer sessions in the future, you know. I mean, I've enjoyed it. I enjoy the questions and anything to make our parents feel better, really.
I mean, even if you're not one of our parents, even if you're one of our fans, one of our YouTube viewers, hit us up on our comments. Any questions you want to ask, we're happy to answer them.
Yeah.
We'll include them always.
Yeah, on our Instagram, on our Twitter, r77 official. Just hit us up. We'll answer your questions for you. You know, whatever it may be. It doesn't have to be related to r77. It could be related to your club, how we feel about grassroots football, anything. Just throw those questions out there. Yeah, just not too personal, please. But anything else, we're more than happy to answer. And like I said, keep watching, subscribe, do the rest of it. Yeah, and parents, kids, see you on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and the rest of the viewers, see you Sunday.
It's been a pleasure, guys.
Peace.
See ya.